Hey guys, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada here with Jensen McRae. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And performing. You sound incredible.
Thank you so much.
It's like a little private show, but I am coming to the show tonight, so I'm very excited. And I saw you open for Noah Khan when you were here last time, so very exciting. You've really come a long way since dancing and Dance Dimensions.
Oh, no. Dance Dimensions, my hip hop era.
Yeah.
From age probably like 9 to 11. Like not my best.
No?
No.
What can you tell me about that time in your life?
I mean, every kid gets stuck in dance classes, I think, and I was no different. And I mean, the funniest memory of me doing dance was that I was in a hip hop class designed to do a flash mob. Like we were, in theory, everyone in the class was going to do the flash mob with the teacher, but then like no one stuck it all the way out. So then the teacher just did a flash mob like alone in the mall, which I don't know. If you're one guy, I don't think that's a mob.
Yeah, that's not a mob at all.
No.
Wait, like everybody just didn't show up, or they like stopped halfway
I think
through?
over time,
like
we just less and less of us were showing up to the class, and then by the end of it, maybe there was a couple other people, but it was certainly no mob.
That's wild. That's
Yeah.
good for the teacher to still persevere.
Oh, then nothing was going to stop that man.
Yeah, that's so wild. Such a chill photo of you hanging out with Spike Lee the other day. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of lore, of course, but the main thing is just that he just like found me on Instagram at the beginning of last year, and he messaged me just saying, "Keep doing your thing," and I was like, I can do that. I can keep doing that. Yeah, we just kept in touch, and yeah, the more, there's more to the story, but you'll all find out soon enough.
Okay, interesting. A tease. That's wild. Did he say thang like with an A?
Yeah, and he also signed all his messages. Like they were an Instagram DMs, but he signed them Spike Lee.
And
he capitalizes the first letter of every word.
No way.
Everything that he says and does is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me.
That's insane. That's like Tom Hanks on Twitter. I feel like he always signed off every tweet with like T Hanks.
And like as he should.
Yeah.
Like if I was that legendary, I would remind people every chance I got, I think.
Like, this is me.
Yeah, by the way, you're not hallucinating. This is real.
I realized I had a few questions that came up that all have to do with you meeting celebrities, so I thought I would ask them all now and then we can get into music. Okay, so you fainted in front of John Mayer.
Yeah, I did.
Can you tell that story?
I was 19 years... I'm going to try to tell this as compressed as possible. I was 19 years old, and a friend of mine was playing at the Hotel Cafe in Los Angeles, and she found out that she was doing this like charity cover night, and she found out that John Mayer was like the secret closer of the show. So I snuck in, no fake ID to my name, and because he was performing last, I was in there for many hours with no food, and I wasn't drinking water. And then by the time came to the end of the show, we were all in the green room together. I just blood pressure, blood sugar, everything fell to the floor, and I too fell to the floor.
Why? What happened after that? Do you remember?
I came to, and I was really worried that I had embarrassed myself in front of John Mayer, and then I fainted again. No. And then by that, when I came to the second time, everyone was basically gone except for my friend, who was like panic calling an ambulance.
No way. No one just stuck around to make sure you're okay.
A couple people did. It was my friend. It was like her other people that had played in the show. So randomly, a friend of someone who was playing, who was a doctor, was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What's your deal?" He was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm a doctor." I was like, "Okay, sure, buddy."
You're like, "I'm actually waiting for John Mayer, but thank you so much."
He was long gone.
Yeah.
He was long gone.
Okay, last question about meeting celebrities. Who's a celebrity that you admire that bought you a drink on Valentine's Day?
Oh, whoa. Honestly, I don't even feel like the person's like not even actually famous.
Oh, okay.
It was just like me like fangirling over someone who's like not even famous.
So not even worth mentioning.
I honestly don't even think people would know who it was if I said.
No way. Okay. Well, as long as it was someone that you admired.
At the time, very significant.
Okay, that's great. I love that so much. Did you have like celebrity crushes growing up? Like, do you meet people now that you're like totally fangirling over?
I mean, we were talking about this in the van. Like, I feel like we've kind of, most of us don't really have celebrity crushes anymore because it's like we're too few degrees of separation away from people. But I had a big crush on Gray Gubler for a very long time, but I met him in person a couple years ago, and he was super nice, wonderful guy. But I was like, you're too old for me. And I realize this now in this moment, had never clocked it before, but the like almost 20-year age difference I am feeling in this moment for sure.
Sad. Now it's no longer a dream. It's just too realistic.
And like, that's not to say that like, he's not a beautiful, beautiful boy, but I lost my zest.
The spark is gone.
I think so. Yeah.
That's okay. That's fair. You do such a good job at articulating feelings in your albums, as you do. I feel like the songwriting especially is what you're known for. What did you learn from writing these songs that maybe changed like your perspective on the relationships that they're based on?
Well, thank you, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the biggest thing that I learned was just that I'm a lot more in control of like myself and my feelings than I think I thought when I was younger. Like the more therapy that I do, like one of the main things my therapist has me do is like whenever I over intellectualize my feelings, she forces me to stop talking and just identify where I feel it in my body. And like I've heard from many different sources that like feelings only last 90 seconds in the body. And so really coming to terms with that and realizing through my writing, like I can process what's happened, but it doesn't have to like dominate weeks, months, years of my life. Like it really, you can move through things so much faster than you think if you dedicate the mental brain power to it.
Wow, I like that. That's so sweet. I feel like that's what my therapist has taught me as well, is like once you're feeling the feeling, just to fully feel it and embrace it, when really what you want to do is the opposite and ignore it and suppress it. So yeah, to locate it, I think is so great. That's so sweet. Is there a lyric from this album that once you wrote it, you thought like, fuck, that's good?
I was really proud of in Praying for Your Downfall, Keep Whistling Boy, I Was Never Your Dog.
Oh, nice.
Because like I really love writing second verses. That's like my favorite part of songwriting. And with that song in particular, like every line I was just like, oh my God, bars, bars, bars. And then that line in particular, I was like, oh, this is an insane way to close like the second, like it was just, I felt so powerful.
What is it about second verses that you like so much?
I think it's because in the first verse, you're just kind of getting your feet wet. You know, you just got it to the party and you don't know who you know there. And then the second verse, you're the life of the party. And like, you've made yourself fully comfortable and like, you know exactly what you want to say. And like, you're just delivering that final gut punch that like you can't really deliver in the first verse without necessary context.
Yeah. No, that's so good. I finally understood, this is such a sidebar, but I finally understood the lyrics to Sk8er Boi by Avril Lavigne when I heard it the other day, where my entire life I thought she ended up with the guy.
She did.
She did? That's okay. That's what I thought. My fiance and I got into like a fight about this in the car because she was like, no, he's writing the song from the perspective of like dismissing her. But I'm pretty sure they ended up together.
Well, the Sk8er Boi, the Sk8er Boi, the original love story, and this is important, by the way, the original Sk8er Boi is like seeing the ballerina or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they break up because the ballerina thinks she's too good for him.
Yeah.
And then the Sk8er Boi ends up with Avril Lavigne.
Oh, okay. So but is the first girl
is a different person.
Is a different person.
Yes.
But Avril Lavigne
is the narrator of this story.
Right.
And she ends
reporting
from victory.
See, my whole childhood brain just assumed it was the ballerina, and then it just stuck my whole life, and then I never thought twice about it. But then in the car the other day, I was like, oh wait, that's not what this is.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I as a lifelong underdog, I was like, oh yeah, this is about being a cool girl, and like the popular mean girl misses out on the great guy because she wasn't locked in.
Right. I know. Finally, years later, we can cut that though. It's kind of embarrassing that I didn't get that until now.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Have you had any industry plant rumors? Because I feel like you're the perfect kind of artist where people would be like, that is a...
I did get, so I don't really use Twitter anymore, but I do sometimes scroll through my mentions, and I did get Spike Lee Nepo baby allegations after I posted that picture.
No way.
And I don't think otherwise I've got an industry plant. I do remember that when I announced this album, I was like searching my name on Reddit, which no one should ever do. And I saw people talking about like, they were like, who is this Jensen McRae person? Like I was just figuring out what Tate McRae is. And I was like, I wanted to chime in and be like, I'm 6 years older than her. So like, I know she's way more famous than me, but I did have the last name 6 years before she did.
Right. That is one of the most Googled things when you look up your name.
Yeah, people really,
you guys
they
related?
Jensen McRae ethnicity and Jensen McRae, Tate McRae related ?
So do you want to squash that once and for all?
She is so beautiful, and we are of no relation. And everyone who's like, oh yeah, they're related, they kind of look like you. I don't know what psychological thing that is, but you're tricking yourself. It's not true.
A compliment though.
Huge compliment and insanely false. The other day, a photographer was like, has anyone ever told you look a little bit like Olivia Rodrigo? And I was like, that's so not true, and the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. It's awesome.
That's so funny. I love that. Do you ever think about how your life would be different if you went to Harvard?
Yeah, all the time. I don't think I would be sitting here.
No.
I probably would have not done music, I think. Because in my mind, when I was applying to college, I was like, oh, if I don't go to music school, then like I'll just pursue music on the side in whatever city that I'm in. But I think if I had gone to Harvard, I probably would have tried to pursue maybe being an author more, or I would have just been like in a labyrinth of endless advanced degrees. Like I probably just would still be in school right now.
You don't think like music would find you, or you would just be like a passion project?
I think I would have kept making it, but like it would have been so difficult to like, it would have required so much more motivation to like find community and to be able to do gigs and stuff. Like being at USC and like being around all those other musicians, like I was constantly being challenged and pushed, and like we were always giving each other heads up on like where to play gigs, and like we were writing with each other and creating together. And like obviously there's a scene in Boston, like I could have found the Berkeley kids, but it would have just been so much more work, and I feel like it would have been so much easier to just slip into academia, which for a long time was actually way more comfortable for me than the music industry.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I could not say the same. That's so great. I love that. And I love too that you have a podcast and you interview people. So what is it about being interviewed that you then take into doing interviews yourself? Because I can imagine that's, quite the dynamic.
I think about the things that I want to be asked that I don't get asked. And I also think about like, what are questions I've just never heard anyone ask before? I'm like known amongst my friends for asking like really bizarre questions that like I have an answer to in my back pocket, but no one else would, because like they had never thought about it. And so I like doing that with strangers. And I'm just like a naturally very curious person. And I feel like even though I love talking about myself, being an artist, I am in the position of being interviewed a lot, and I feel like I have to be being annoying, because like I'm just talking about myself all the time. And so I love being in the interviewer seat because it enables me to like talk so much, but not at all about myself.
Yeah, that's nice. But then you can also talk about yourself.
I chime in. My mom got mad when I first, not mad, but when I first started doing the podcast, she was like, "You're not talking, like you're not interjecting your personality at all." And I'm like, I'm so cognizant of wanting the other person to be the main focus. She's like, but a great podcast, like a great interview, it's like you feel like it's a conversation between two real human beings and not just like a question dispenser, which is fair.
No, I think you do a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. What was it? Oh yeah, what is your favorite part in doing all of this? Like, what have you found has always is it performing, is it writing?
I really, really love writing. I love being in the studio. Like, some of my happiest memories are of in the studio when I was recording this album. The writing had been done, but when we were in the studio recording the album, that was so much fun. Like watching all of the pieces come together and like feeling it all coalesce in real time, and having a great producer in Brad Cook, like having him steer the ship in that way. Like that was really, really satisfying. And I really love performing, when, especially now, like in every show, I take my in-ears out at the end of the show so I can hear everyone singing Massachusetts. And that's really beautiful. And I love hanging out with my friends on tour. That's like my band they're the best. And
yeah,
really
it's got to be like
it with them.
The in-between bits too, I can imagine. Yeah, that's so sweet. As someone who loves twins, how did you react to the Australian twins news clip of them talking in unison? Have you seen that?
I believe that a dear friend of mine did send that to me. And that's the most shocking. I mean, there's just like not even really words to describe the things that I feel about that. Like, I'm so fascinated by twin culture, and I don't really know why. Do I wish that I had a twin? Maybe that's part of it. But yeah, watching adult twins speak in unison, I mean, that's what life is really all about. Like when people are like doing really unusual things, and like it's just awesome. It's like, oh yeah, you're finally like you're not pretending to be normal. Mask is off. And like you're just being yourself, and no one else could be doing this except for you two right here, right now. That's beautiful.
Wow, that's very poetic.
Thank you.
I like that so much. Sorry, my stomach keeps growling. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry I could eat Joe Norton.
Who is responsible for that poll?
Your mother.
Oh, my mom. Okay, good. I was like, only my mom knows who that is.
Yeah.
My first grade teacher. Only my mom knows who that is. That's a crazy poll. Wow. Oh my God.
Anyways, we'll end on that. Jensen, thank you so much for being
here.
Shannon. That was fun.